Hello, family and friends. Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Bazaar. I'm Jessica.
I'm Montana.
I've been MIA for the past week or so. Life threw me a curveball, and I'm just starting to get my shit back on track. So if you
Welcome
missed me,
back.
thanks. I missed being here, that's for sure. And I'm happy to be back.
Good,
So
because it was tough with Ryan, let me tell you.
well, I really appreciate that he stepped in for me in my time of need. So, we are recording from a distance again today, and we have been having such a struggle with the audio, and I think we have finally figured it out. So, hopefully, today is the first day of many great recordings to come. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but watch it sound like shit and be like, God damn it. We just said this was it.
And we're also testing out recording our video as well, because we're going to eventually be putting these on YouTube so you can see our beautiful faces.
I know, your background is so cute though.
Thanks. Yours will be too. You just haven't really done much with it yet. Your twinkle lights are awesome, though.
I got twinkle lights on my massage bars, but I like how when you first came on, I was like, look at my little dead pig skeleton I have sitting on my desk. You can see that?
I didn't even see him. He's so cute.
Oh, that's what I was showing you.
Oh, I thought you were making fun of your door. Oh.
Jessica.
Perfect. That actually is kind of going to go with a topic today.
Ooh,
oddly.
I have a raven too. I still got to set him up somewhere in the back. I'm still working on my background.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. Here we are.
Plus, your headphones are really cute. My headphones, since this is my first time using headphones, I didn't have headphones. These are my grandfather's headphones that he had for his Walkman. Okay?
These are my gamer girls headset.
I need to get with the times.
Yeah, you can even get like I want to get little cat ear clips to put on top. They're so freaking cute. We can just get all kinds of cute little shit like that. Yeah, for your entertainment, guys.
So right now, G-Paw, these are your headphones that I'm using.
Representing G-Paw.
Hey, Love that. Work. They work. I miss my grandfather.
Yeah, they're cute. They're very sleek.
Thanks.
Like, you can't even tell that you're wearing them.
You're trying. You're trying too hard. You're trying way too hard.
So I already clanked down my cup. I need to not do that. So today we're going to be talking about the Carpathian Mountains and the Strigoi. And there are a lot of legends that kind of come with the Carpathian Mountains. There's a lot of lore. And so I'm going to be kind of touching on that before I do the bulk of it about the Strigoi.
Yeah, I know nothing.
Yeah. This was a little bit like, I wish I would have spent maybe another week on this, just because it's pretty cool. Like, it's a place that I would love to visit, honestly. It sounds like there's some crazy shit going on over there. But here we are. I had to get back on track. So this is what I brought to the table today.
We're happy to have you back.
Thanks. I'm happy to be back.
I missed you.
Missed you too. I've missed the whole world because it's just been like my world shut down for a minute. But anyway, if you're ready, I'm ready.
Let's dive into it. That's your episode.
Okay.
I need to take a break for a minute.
Mm-hmm. You definitely do. Deep in the heart of Eastern Europe, where mist-shrouded peaks rise like the jagged teeth of an ancient beast, the Carpathian Mountains hold secrets older than time itself. These vast brooding forests and shadowed valleys have been the cradle of forgotten gods, restless spirits, and creatures that defy explanation. Few dare to wander alone beneath their towering pines after nightfall, for the land is alive with stories, whispers of curses, haunted castles, and beings that lurk in the darkness, waiting for unsuspecting souls to stray too far from the path.
Sounds like vampires.
Yeah. The mountains aren't just a place of shadows and lurking horrors, but also a realm of sacred power, wisdom, and healing. They test those who enter. The greedy will find hardship, the kind will find peace. The energy that flows through their valleys and peaks is ancient, capable of cleansing the soul, strengthening the body, and guiding the lost. The people who have lived among these towering peaks for centuries know that the mountains are not just a landscape, they're alive. So let me share with you first the other side of the Carpathians, the legends of their mystical energy, their role as a place of spiritual awakening, and the moral lessons whispered by the winds through the valleys. So for centuries, mystics, healers, and wise men have believed that the Carpathians hold a special energy, a force that pulses beneath the earth like a heartbeat of the world itself. Some call it the dragon's veins, an ancient current of energy that flows through sacred places, granting strength to those who respect it. Others believe that deep within the mountains lie ancient stones and crystals, humming with the energy of creation, capable of restoring both body and spirit. Many who visit these mountains speak of a strange sensation, a lightness in the soul, a sense that their worries are melting away as they breathe the crisp pine-scented air. It is said that those who climb the highest peaks with a pure heart will feel rejuvenated, their ailments fading, their thoughts clearing, as if the mountains themselves are cleansing them. I've heard that's kind of how it is in Sedona. Like it
Yeah.
seems like that's the kind of energy the vibe I'm getting from this, which is
Yeah.
weird because the rest of the shit about these mountains is like the complete opposite.
I mean, Sedona, you have like the four vortexes. There's a lot of energy. There's like a whole strip that's like pretty much dedicated to that stuff, especially like a lot of psychic. So I think Sedona, I really like Sedona. I think it's just a little overrated,
Really?
but it's a really fun and cool place. I think everyone should go and experience, but you would like it there.
I'm sure I would. Yeah.
So you can find us at Patreon at
Patreon.com
patreon.com/weekly
slash weekly bazaar.
bazaar. Boom. Good job. You got it. So proud of you.
So allegedly, only those who come with good intentions will feel this power. Those who arrive with greed, anger, or darkness in their hearts may find the mountains cold and unwelcoming, their paths shrouded in endless fog, their bodies feeling heavy instead of light. It is said that the Carpathians choose who may receive their blessing. I want to go.
That's actually funny that you say that because I was listening to a podcast on Island of the Dolls. Yeah, so Zach Bagans went to Island of the Dolls. Have you heard of it?
Mm-mm.
It's what it sounds like. It's an island of haunted dolls, basically. And it seemed like the dolls aren't bad. Like, if you come with good energy, you're treated well. And then if you come with, like, bad energy, you're going to get that in return. So that's just, like, really funny that you said that, and that made me think of that. So it's irrelevant, but
never heard of that before.
I would love to go to Island of the Dolls.
Now, where is it?
That I don't remember.
Okay.
It's somewhere near Mexico, or is it in Mexico?
Ooh.
Because you can do like a celebration, like a 10-day celebration, like was it like Dia de los Muertos, like Day of the Dead? And I think that's included in that. Don't quote me, but it just sounds like something that you and I would totally get into because I know Ryan will not go. He doesn't mess with dolls.
Oh, I'd love it.
So I just heard that twice in 2 days. So let's just okay.
Interesting. So there's a legend passed down among the shepherds of an ancient man who wanders the Carpathians, appearing only to those in need of guidance. Some say he's a spirit of the mountains. Others believe he's a forgotten god. And some even whisper that he's a guardian angel. He appears as a simple old traveler, his clothes worn and his beard as white as the snow on the peaks. He does not ask for food or shelter, but instead poses a question to those he meets. What is the most important thing in life? The answer determines the fate of the traveler. If they answer with greed, wealth, power, or conquest, the old man simply smiles and walks away. But from that moment on, misfortune follows them. Their path becomes dangerous, their body grows heavy, and an unseen force seems to push them away from the mountain. If they answer with wisdom, love, kindness, or the happiness of others, the old man nods approvingly and disappears into the mist. Those who pass his test find their journey suddenly easier, as if the mountains themselves are carrying them forward. I thought it would be so cool to be a little kid that lived in those mountains and being told these stories. Oh, it'd be so magical.
I don't know. I'm getting Midnight Mass vibes. Have you seen it?
No, but I can only imagine.
They think it's a guardian angel, and it's not a guardian angel, but I'm just getting Midnight Mass vibes.
Ooh, like a demon?
A vampire.
Oh.
Oh, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Midnight Mass.
That's fine. I probably will never watch it. Some who meet him, this old man that we've been speaking of, that might be a vampire, claim. That sounded more like a... I don't know what. I don't know what that sounded like.
I was trying to show my fangs, but I didn't have fangs, so I backed out halfway through, so it just looked like I growled.
Hey, it works.
My bad.
Sound effects, no extra charge. So some who meet him claim that he was not a man at all, but a manifestation of the mountain spirit. So next, I'm going to talk about the hidden monasteries. I don't know why they say that they're hidden. I think it's just because they're like really deep.
Maybe they're hard to get to.
Yeah. They're really beautiful too. I was looking at some of the photos, which I'll put on a reel.
Are these real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Deep within the Carpathians, hidden among the towering cliffs and ancient forests, lie monasteries built in places of great power. These are not just places of worship, but sanctuaries where time seems to stand still and where the weary soul finds peace. From the secluded stone silence of, okay, let's stop right here and just say, I apologize in advance because there are some really hard words to pronounce and I'm gonna fook them up.
It's your turn.
Yeah. I even looked them up beforehand, like while I was doing more research yesterday, just to see if I could remember how to pronounce them, and I already forget. Some of them I wrote the pronunciation beside the words because they're ridiculous, but just bear with me. And
big words.
I'm sorry. Big words, hard words.
Hard words.
So from the secluded stone silence of Manyava Skeet in Ukraine to Romania's breathtaking painted monasteries of Bukovina and the sky-brushing spires of the Karaman Monastery in the Busegi. I'm sorry.
No idea.
Each holds centuries of prayer, secrets, and stories whispered by monks and mountains alike. Even the mossy ruins of the Katarinka in Slovakia hum with holy mystery, proof that the Carpathians are not only a land of shadow and Strigoi, but of light, faith, and quiet, unshakable magic. And we'll get to what the Strigoi are soon.
So is this like a tribe?
No.
Or is this a person?
The Strigoi?
Yeah.
Neither. Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of a type of person. Was a person once. Okay. Type of thing.
Okay.
It is said that the monks who live here have unlocked the secrets of the mountains, how to breathe its energy, how to heal the body with its herbs, and how to listen to the voice of the earth. They believe that the Carpathians are a place where the barrier between the physical and the spiritual is thin, where prayers are heard more clearly, and where those who seek enlightenment may find it. Travelers who stumble upon these sacred places often report feeling an overwhelming sense of calm, as if, excuse me, as if the very air is filled with an unseen presence watching over them. Some say that drinking from the mountain springs near these monasteries brings good health, washing away illness and sorrow alike. But the Carpathians, while generous, do not tolerate arrogance. One of the most important lessons told by the elders is take from the mountain only what you need and give back in return, which is what you should do with everything in life, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. ASMR. You probably just heard me swallow my coffee.
In the cup that I gave her.
Yeah, the blood of my enemies. There's a tale of a rich merchant who once came to the Carpathians. Hearing of the mystical energy in its stones and springs, he wanted to own this power, to take it for himself. So he ordered men to dig into the hills, to cut down trees, and to fill barrels with water from the purest springs, planning to sell it to those in the cities.
This
Isn't
could
going to
not
end
be
well.
good. No.
No. That's a lot of bad juju.
It's going to be like H.H. Holmes and be like, this is my water. It's my, what it was like mineral water that could do like all these things.
Yeah.
It's not going to end well.
But as soon as he began his greed-fueled work, the mountain struck back. The ground shook, the trees groaned, and an unseen force pushed his men away, making them stumble and fall as if an invisible hand had cast them aside. Sounds like an earthquake.
Yeah.
That night, the merchant fell into a deep sleep and dreamed of an old woman in a black cloak, her eyes like the depths of the forest.
Nope.
She said, quote, "You take, but you do not give." End quote. She whispered, "This mountain is not yours." You creepy. When the
AKA
merchant
karma.
awoke, yeah. When the merchant awoke, his strength was gone, his body heavy and sickly. No doctor could heal him. Only when he returned to the Carpathians, offering gifts of food and gold to the poor, did his health slowly return. He never tried to take from the mountains again. The villagers say this is a warning. Nature will share its gifts, but never tolerate greed. The mountains do not belong to anyone. They are alive, watching, and listening. If you come with respect, with a heart open to their lessons, you may leave forever changed, feeling lighter, healthier, and more connected to something far greater than yourself. Yet for all the tales of healing energy and sacred wisdom, the Carpathians hold a darker, more forbidding power, one that has haunted the dreams of travelers and inspired countless stories of terror. For just as the mountains can restore the weary soul, they can also consume it, drawing the lost and the foolish into their endless shadows, never to be seen again. Beneath the whispers of peace, there are other voices, older, colder, and hungry. The same mist that purifies can also conceal, hiding unseen figures that watch from the tree line. The same wind that carries blessings can, on other nights, wail with the cries of the forgotten. And those who stray too far from the safety of the villages may find that in the Carpathians, the night does not belong to them. These mountains have given life, but they have also taken it. And some say that what the Carpathians claim, they never truly release. So let me tell you some of the most chilling legends of the Carpathians.
Dun, dun, dun.
Da, da. There is a place in the Carpathians so feared, and I had never heard of this place, that even hardened travelers refused to enter. The Hoya Baciu Forest is a dense woodland just outside the Cluj-Napoca in Transylvania, Romania, often called the Bermuda Triangle of Eastern Europe.
Oh, that's not good.
Twisted trees grow in unnatural shapes. Fog rolls in without warning. A mysterious circular clearing lies at its heart where nothing grows, and the forest is steeped in tales of UFO sightings, vanishing people, ghostly apparitions, and strange lights. Local whispers of a heavy presence there, and visitors often report dizziness, time loss, and sudden fear, as if the forest itself is watching. Silent, ancient, and alive with secrets, Hoya Baciu is one of the most haunted places on Earth, allegedly.
And you're trying to go there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Your thing.
am.
Let's do Island
I
of the
mean-
Dolls first, and then.
I'm not going to lie, I'll be scared to death, but it just seems like a pretty cool thing to do.
I know, but something about haunted forests. I don't know.
I grew up in the woods pretty much. Like I was in the woods from morning until night most days, so it's my comfort zone.
I don't know. I just think bad things happen in the woods. I don't know.
You're not wrong there.
But, I mean, it would be cool to go to Transylvania.
It's a great dumping grounds for dead bodies.
Apparently.
So they call Hoya Baciu the Wailing Forest because when the wind dies and the trees fall silent, you can still hear something. Visitors speak of hearing whispers in the static, soft voices that creep through malfunctioning radios or dead cell phones, speaking in unknown languages or calling their names in tones that aren't quite human.
See, that's exactly my point. My first thought is like when you hear your name being yelled in the woods, you do not respond to it.
Ooh.
Do not respond to your name being called.
Noted.
Don't acknowledge it, nothing.
What happens if you do?
Probably
It
not.
attaches to you?
Probably, but there's a lot of the mimics and everything like that happen in the woods and stuff, and I don't think you want to find out.
Definitely don't. At night, the forest comes alive with unexplained wails. That would be so freaking creepy.
I just think of banshees.
Ooh. Long, mournful cries that echo through the trees with no clear source. Some say the voices of the lost, trapped between worlds. Others believe the forest itself is alive and crying out. Oh, that's kind of sad. Poor trees. I'm such a tree hugger.
We know.
Can't help it.
Have you hugged a tree today?
No, but I need to. I definitely need to. The one out front looks like it needs a hug. One legend says that long ago, a shepherd wandered into the forest with his flock of 200 sheep, and neither he nor his animals were ever seen again. The villagers searched for weeks, but not a single trace was found. Then the disappearances began. Hunters, woodcutters, even children who ventured too deep into the trees vanished without a trace. A young girl, they say her name was Elena, was just 5 years old when she wandered into the Hoya Baciu forest one summer afternoon in the late 1960s. Her mother only looked away for a moment, just long enough to rinse a pail in the stream, and when she turned back, Elena was gone. The villagers searched for days. Dogs sniffed the air and howled. Men with lanterns combed the woods at night, calling her name into the twisted silence. But the forest gave nothing back. No broken branches, no shoes, not a trace of Elena. Then, 5 years later, on a clear autumn morning, Elena walked back out of the forest. She was barefoot, wearing the same sun-faded dress. Her hair was tangled but not grown. Her skin unscarred by time or weather. The same 5-year-old girl, but not the same. She didn't remember anything, not where she had been, not who had kept her safe. She barely recognized her parents, and her eyes were distant, as if they'd seen something the rest of her couldn't explain. Some say she was taken by the Strigoi. Others believe the forest itself claimed her, hid her in its folds, and gave her back, but not all of her. Have you ever heard of this story?
No, I've never heard of this story, but this is the forest you're really trying to go
Yep.
to? Okay.
I'm gonna call for Elena too. I'm
All
gonna
right.
take her a doll.
Oh, well, she's already out of the forest. Well,
Yeah.
at least.
She must be deceased because
I was going
it
to say,
said
maybe
that,
not the real Elena.
yeah. I mean, she didn't age for 5 years.
Yeah.
It's creepy. She didn't
I
change.
wish I had that power.
Same. So deep within the heart of the forest lies its most infamous feature, the Glade of Light, also known as the Dead Clearing. I'm like, those are two completely different titles for this place. I don't get it. I wonder if it's called the Glade of Light because it's kind of attached to UFO stuff. So maybe like beams of light coming down on this place. I don't know. I didn't do a
Well,
whole lot of research on these individual little things, so
like maybe different people call it things. Like, you know how locals will call it something different than like
yeah.
forest or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I see why they call it both, I guess, if it does have to do with the UFO and then the dead clearing, because they said nothing grows there. It's a nearly perfect circle, roughly 300 feet wide, where no vegetation grows, no trees, no shrubs, not even moss. The soil has been tested, the ground scanned, but no scientific explanation has ever stuck. Locals say it's a portal, a place where the veil between worlds is thin. Paranormal investigators report strange lights hovering above it, sudden malfunctions of electronics, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. Some even claim to hear voices, not from outside, but from within their own minds. The locals believe the forest is cursed. You think? The site of an ancient tragedy or a battle so violent that the spirits of the dead remain, forever trapped. Some claim the land itself rejects human presence, and yet despite the warnings, there are always those who dare to enter. Some come out whispering secrets they refuse to share. Others never return at all.
That's creepy.
The yeah, this place, the Wailing Castle of Poenari. Sorry if I said that wrong.
You trying to go there too?
Yeah. This was like the OG Dracula castle.
Oh,
I did not know this. I didn't know any of this, honestly. My
I didn't
friend
either.
Alexis actually is the one who suggested that I do this. And because there wasn't a whole lot on the Strigoi, I kind of wanted to pair it with the Carpathian Mountains because that's where the lore of the Strigoi originates. And yeah, so like all of this was news to me. I didn't know any of it. It's
Me
very cool.
neither. Especially since like the Nosferatu, is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Is like popular, since the movie came out. That's a thing now.
That's based off the Strigoi.
Oh, we'll see. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So high up on a cliff in the Carpathians stands the ruins of Poenari Castle, a fortress once belonging to the real Vlad the Impaler, the historical inspiration for Dracula. He earned his infamous name from his brutal method of executing enemies by impalement, driving long wooden stakes through their bodies and leaving them to die slowly, often displayed in massive, grisly forests of the dead. Yikes.
You're
It was
asking
a
for juju then?
Yeah. It was a terrifying tactic meant to instill fear, and it worked. The
Yeah.
winds howl through the crumbling walls, but some say the wind carries more than just echoes. It carries the cries of the damned. Long ago, Vlad Dracula ruled with an iron fist, striking terror into the hearts of his enemies. When he discovered that some of the local noble families had plotted against him, he sought revenge in a way only he could. He captured them all, men, women, and children, and forced them to rebuild Poenari Castle with their bare hands. With no food, no rest, and no mercy, they worked until their bodies gave out, dropping where they stood. Their bones became part of the very foundation of the castle. It is said that on stormy nights you can still hear their wailing cries carried by the wind. Some travelers who have visited the ruins claim that they felt unseen hands pushing them toward the edge of the cliff, as if the ghosts of the betrayed were seeking vengeance even in death. And then there is the tale of Lady Anastasia, Vlad's wife. When enemy soldiers stormed the castle, she knew there was no escape. Rather than be taken, she threw herself from the tower, plunging into the raging Argus River below. Probably didn't say that right. Sorry. The villagers say that on quiet nights, if you stand near the cliffs, you can still hear the voice of her voice carried on the wind, whispering warnings to those who dare to come too close. That castle has been through it too. I was looking at some photos of it. It's very worn and withered,
Yeah, well,
but
how old
it
is
looks
it?
like, very, very old. What century? Was it the 16th? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Okay, so now we're getting to the Strigoi and the Black Village, which I could not find any photos of. I'm going to look again to see if I can find something, but it sounds so cool. So dark. In a forgotten valley hidden deep within the Carpathian wilderness lies the Black Village, a place where the dead refuse to rest. The name comes from the blackened wood of the houses, untouched by time yet seemingly abandoned for centuries. No one lives there now, and no one remembers exactly when it was deserted, but the legend remains. The story tells of a plague that swept through the village long ago. The dead were buried in haste, but something unnatural happened. They came back. At first, it was only shadows flickering behind windows, figures seen moving in empty houses. Then the villagers began waking up to find their loved ones, pale and weak, as if something had been feeding off them in the night. The elders knew what it was, the work of the Strigoi, the undead spirits cursed to rise from their graves, hungry for the life they had lost. In desperation, the villagers took drastic action. They exhumed the bodies, driving stakes through their hearts, burning the remains, and scattering the ashes to the wind. But it was not enough. The curse had already taken root in the land itself. One by one, the villagers vanished until the entire town stood empty. Now, those who stumble upon the Black Village report a terrifying feeling, as if they're being watched. It's like the theme of this place. It's like everywhere you go, something's watching you.
It kind of makes me think of, since we just started watching Game of Thrones, what do you call them? The White Walkers or some? What do you call them in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
the first season, where
Yep,
they're
the White
like
Walkers.
supposedly a myth, but they're like the dead, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, they're cool. The White Walkers are cool.
But they're bad.
Yeah. Some claim to see faint footprints appearing in the dust, leading toward them, though no one else is there. Others say they hear whispers in a language long forgotten, voices calling to them to stay just a little longer. The legend of the Strigoi is ancient, deeply rooted in Romanian folklore, and stretching back centuries, possibly to pre-Christian times. Its origins are believed to stem from early pagan beliefs about the dead and the fear of spirits returning to harm the living. These beliefs were intertwined with the region's rich oral traditions, making the Strigoi a persistent and evolving figure in Eastern European mythology. The concept of the Strigoi likely predates written records and may have connections to Proto-Indo-European traditions about restless souls and death. However, the first detailed accounts of the Strigoi-like creatures appeared in medieval texts and chronicles, particularly during the rise of Christianity and in the region when the church sought to explain and suppress older pagan fears about the dead. Imagine that.
Yeah.
One of the earliest written mentions of something resembling the Strigoi can be traced back to the 16th and 17th centuries during the height of vampire folklore in Eastern Europe. These creatures became infamous in tales told by villagers, blending supernatural elements with real-world fears about death, disease, and the unknown. Stories of the Strigoi were often tied to plagues and unexplained deaths in communities, as people sought to explain such tragedies through the lens of a supernatural intervention. These chilling tales, spanning centuries and countries, are all threads in the dark tapestry of the Strigoi legend, each one blurring the line between folklore and frightening reality. In the 17th century Croatia, here we go with names again, Juri Grando was said to rise from his grave nightly, knocking on doors. Whoever answered would die soon after. The village lived in terror until they exhumed his body and drove a stake through his heart. He is often called the first documented vampire in Europe. A century later, in Serbia, Peter Blagojevic, a peasant, died, and within days, 9 villagers claimed he visited them in the night. All 9 died mysteriously. His body was reportedly found fresh, with blood on his lips, and was staked and burned by a panicked community. Fast forward to 1969, in Capitani Pamentini, Romania.
No idea. Sorry.
Yeah. I even looked that one up to see how to pronounce it. And it's Capitanini, and then the Pamentini is kind of off. I don't think I'm saying that right. But anyway, in Romania, where reports surfaced of a corpse found unearthed, pierced with a stake, the work of villagers who believed the dead man had returned to haunt them. Just a year later, Ion Romaru terrorized Bucharest with a string of brutal murders. When he was finally caught, locals whispered that he had Strigoi blood, and even officials noted similarities to a criminal file from the early 1900s, his own father. Then came 2003 in the village of the Moritano de Sus, when Peter Toma died. After his burial, his niece claimed she was visited by him in dreams, growing sick and weak. That's something else that the Strigoi can do, is like be in your mind, in your dreams.
So also like
the family driven
vampires, but energy vampires?
Yeah. The family, driven by fear, exhumed his body, removed his heart, burned it, and mixed the ashes in water for her to drink. Ugh. An old remedy against Strigoi attacks. That's harsh. It's extreme. Mm-hmm. While the Strigoi is unique to Romanian folklore, it shares similarities with other undead legends across cultures, such as the Slavic vampire, the Greek Verkolakas, and even the Norse Draugr, which I know those very well from being a gamer.
I have no idea.
They actually look like White Walkers. I wonder if that's where they got that inspiration from. But they're like in tombs, and they rise from the dead, and they look just like White Walkers.
No idea.
Over time, these stories shaped and were shaped by their cultural contexts. The Strigoi remained a distinctly Romanian creature, deeply tied to the beliefs and fears of the Carpathian region. Today, the legend endures, both as a chilling reminder of the past and as a cultural icon. It has influenced vampire mythology worldwide, including Bram Stoker's Dracula, which draws heavily from Romanian folklore and modern pulp culture. I can't say that very well. Pop culture. The
Pop.
fear of the restless dead. Pop.
Pop. Get a soda pop.
The fear of the restless dead and the power of the Strigoi still linger in the imagination, proving that some legends are too terrifying to ever truly fade away. So, according to Tudor Pamphile,
Like
Tudor
filet.
Pamphile, in his
Filet.
oh gosh, in his book, I'm gonna butcher it. Mythology Romanesca. Mythology Romanesca. The Strigoi are not all the same. So there are different types of Strigoi, apparently. In Romanian folklore, he describes several types, each with their own unique traits. Strigoi V, the living Strigoi, cursed individuals born under dark omens or with special marks. They live among us, often unaware of their nature, but may leave their bodies at night to cause illness or misfortune. Strigoichi, female Strigoi, often tied to witchcraft or cursed lineage. So I guess they're kind of like witches. They're said to be seductive, vengeful, and particularly dangerous to children and newborns. That's messed up.
Oh.
Moroi, closely related to the Strigoi, often seen as weaker or more ghost-like versions, sometimes the children of Strigoi themselves. They too can torment the living, especially through dreams and nightmares. And finally, the most terrifying of them all, which is what I'm really going to hone in on here in a minute, is Strigoi Morti, the dead Strigoi, spirits of the deceased who rise from the grave, usually because of improper burial rites, violent deaths, or unresolved vengeance. These are the more feared, for they feed on the living and spread death.
Ouch.
The Strigoi, the restless dead who rose from their graves to prey on the living. Unlike any mere ghost or monster, the Strigoi was a soul cursed to walk the earth, fueled by bitterness, hatred, and insatiable hunger. It is said that those who become Strigoi in death were doomed by the sins of their life, murderers, sorcerers, or those who had been cursed by their enemies. Sometimes, though, fate was even more cruel. Even the innocent could return as Strigoi if they died violently, unburied, or with unfinished business in the mortal world. The first sign of a Strigoi's presence was always subtle. Animals, especially dogs, would grow restless and howl into the darkness, their cries breaking the silence of the countryside. Cows stopped giving milk, chickens refused to lay eggs, families would wake to find that their bread had gone stale overnight, and the very air around them seemed colder. Then came the dreams. I don't want any Strigoi visiting me, thanks.
No, we'll just put that disclaimer out. You do not have permission.
No permission. Villagers began to experience nightmares so vivid they felt real, dreams of someone they had known in life, now pale, gaunt, and lifeless. They'd see the figure beckoning them into the woods or staring at them from a shadowed corner in their room. Hell no.
No.
Those who dreamed of the Strigoi often woke with scratches on their skin, or worse, a faint red mark on their neck. But that was only the beginning. By the time the Strigoi revealed itself fully, it was too late. By day, the Strigoi could pass as human, walking among the villagers, blending in, even attending church. Its disguise was perfect except for one telltale sign. Do you know? You have a guess?
What?
Of what the telltale sign is that they couldn't get quite right to blend in?
Pale teeth,
Yeah, that's what
eyes.
I meant. But there's
What?
one real big one. Its reflection.
Oh.
Its reflection was distorted, like ripples in a pond, and its shadow moved unnaturally, always lagging behind it.
Ew.
Ugh. It spoke sweetly and softly, but those who listened too closely felt their hearts grow heavy, as though their life force was being sapped. In its human guise, it is deceptively ordinary at first glance, but the closer you look, the more unsettling the details become. And you nailed it. Their skin is pale, like wax that has been drained of color, with veins just visible beneath the surface, faintly pulsing as though alive with something unholy. Their eyes, though they seem normal, always feel wrong, too bright, glowing faintly under the moonlight with pupils that seem to flicker like the flames of a dying candle. When they smile, their teeth appear sharp for just a split second, too long to be dismissed as a trick of the light, but too quick to confirm. Their long, thin fingers end in nails that are cracked and yellow, like they've been clawing at something unearthly for centuries. Their hands seem too cold when you touch them, as if they've never known warmth. Some say that in moments of hunger or rage, their nails extend into talons sharp enough to render flesh, though they keep these hidden during the day. But at night, the Strigoi reveals its true form, and the artwork of these things is pretty cool.
So it's worse than what you described is in their true form.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
When the sun dips below the horizon and darkness cloaks the world, the Strigoi sheds its human mask. Its body contorts unnaturally, bones cracking and reshaping as it grows impossibly tall and thin, the silhouette resembling a blackened scarecrow. Some even say they grow bat-like wings, and depending on the region where they dwell, can even shapeshift into animal form. So that was something that I thought was interesting, is kind of an all-encompassing thing about them is that they can take on the bodies of many different types of animals, I guess.
Like a shapeshifter.
Like not just bats, but also like werewolves are even considered strigoi, I guess.
So like the supernatural.
Yeah.
Well, see, like when you described them in their true form, that's what I expected Twilight to be.
Oh, yeah.
I never read the books, so when
Same.
I went in to go see the movie, and he was like, I need to show you my real form or whatever," and I thought it was going to be like this really creepy, basically what you described, and it was like he just glittered.
Oh,
And I'm
yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, that would have been so much cooler. Like
That's what
his
I was
fingers
expecting.
grew
Yeah, like I
longer
was
and
expecting his like just to look terrifying, and he was just like, "I glitter," and I'm like, "What? What is this?"
can he be my background?
Like that was the most disappointing moment because I never read the books. I didn't know that. And
Yeah.
I was just going in blind watching this movie, and I'm like, "What? What is this? How are you afraid of a vampire that glitters?" So your version's so much better.
Yeah. Just wait till you see. I've already gotten some of the artwork
I
together.
can't wait to see the real.
They're creepy as hell. There are
Go check it
different
out.
versions of them, but yeah, they're pretty cool.
I'm excited.
Their waxy skin becomes translucent in the moonlight, revealing dark veins that seem to twist and writhe, pulsing with the stolen life of its victims. Its eyes turn crimson, glowing like hot coals in the sockets of a face that is both skeletal and bloated, cheeks sunken in some places, grotesquely swollen in others. The mouth stretches unnaturally wide. That is one of the creepiest things to me with like creepy looking creatures is when they have a huge mouth.
Especially like in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it 300? Even that dude was kind of creepy. The one that he had like the mask all the way down and all you could see was his mouth and it was like big and wide and he had like black teeth. It was so creepy.
I don't remember that movie,
I
to
think
be
maybe I'm
honest.
thinking of the wrong movie, but if you know, email us at weeklybazaarpodcast@gmail.com. The mouth stretches unnaturally wide, the lips peeling back to reveal rows of jagged, blood-stained teeth, each one tapered to a needle-sharp point.
Their breath must smell so bad.
That's so funny because that's my next line.
Is it really?
A dark, fetid mist rolls off its breath, heavy with the stench of decay.
Eee.
The Strigoi's movements are inhumanly fluid, like smoke trapped in a rotting corpse. Be good. Your breath smells like a rotting corpse. Here's your toothpaste.
She's going to show you the blood of her enemies.
Its limbs bend at angles that defy reason, allowing it to scuttle across walls and ceilings or lunge toward prey with terrifying speed. Its arms are unnervingly long, ending in gnarled hands whose fingers twitch with an almost animalistic hunger. Worse still is its shadow. Even when the creature is hidden, the shadow moves on its own, a flickering, nightmarish shape that dances against the walls like a demon trapped in a cage. If the Strigoi's physical form is horrifying, its shadow is pure madness, whispering in voices too faint to hear clearly, yet unsettling enough to chill your very soul. I think of this as like a glitch almost. Like their shadow probably just looks like it's glitching out or something.
Yeah, and like the way they move is like in movies where like their bones are cracking to form like in
Mm-hmm.
weird angles, and the way they move across the floor. That's what I'm like picturing in my mind.
Yeah, and like they can turn their head all the way around while they're up on the ceiling.
Yeah, but it's like cracking each time.
Yes.
Gross.
Ooh.
No, thank y'all.
Some say the Strigoi's form shifts depending on how much life it has consumed. I think that's a pretty common thing with most vampires, isn't it? Like the more you feed, the
Like the
more,
stronger you are.
yeah. But I guess with them, it's the more like heinous you get or something.
It's like the ew.
After feeding, yeah, it grows more monstrous, its veins glowing faintly with the power it has stolen. Those unlucky enough to encounter it after a fresh kill report seeing it dripping with blood, a sinister grin stretching across its face as though it is savoring its victory. The Strigoi, even in its monstrous form, will still look at you with the eyes that it had in life. Those bright, glowing human eyes that seem to recognize you, to call you, to pull you closer. That'd be a mind fook. So it's like this
Yeah.
monster, but when you look in its eyes, you can tell that it's human in there.
Or it
Somewhere.
was human in there. That's how it started.
Yeah.
It's not human no more.
They feed on blood, yes, but it also craves something deeper, the essence of a person's soul. Some say that the Strigoi do not want to kill, that they must feed, just as the living must breathe. That hunger is not of their choosing, but a torment placed upon them for refusing to leave this world. Doesn't sound like they have much of a choice in that matter, though.
No, I mean, like, could you imagine though being an innocent person? Like they said, even the innocent were killed and come back and have to do this. Like,
Yeah.
that's rough. But to be fair, like if I was killed in a very violent way and I'm a good person, oh, you best believe I'm gonna do some shit.
Yeah, but I'd pick and choose who I'm doing that shit
Oh
to.
yeah, I'd pick the bad. I'd be like Dexter. I'm gonna
Exactly.
like just kill the bad people.
Mm-hmm. Others whisper that the Strigoi do not just consume souls, but steal them, gathering their strength to become something more than what they were. That the oldest of them, those who have fed for centuries, are no longer the pitiful shadows of death that they once were, that they are something much worse. The villagers knew they couldn't fight the Strigoi with mere courage. They armed themselves with ancient rituals passed down through generations. Long before the tales of the Strigoi, civilizations from the Mediterranean to the Middle East used garlic as a defense against dark spirits, sickness, and the supernatural. The ancient Egyptians placed garlic in tombs, believing it had mystical properties that could protect the dead in the afterlife. The Greeks and Romans carried it as a charm against the evil spirits and even rubbed it onto their doors to keep malevolent entities from entering. In India and China, garlic was valued for both its medicinal properties and its ability to repel demons. But in the Carpathians, where the nights were long, the forests deep, and the death was often unexplained, not the death, death. Garlic became more than just an old superstition. It became a necessity for survival. Garlic, with its strong scent and powerful properties, was thought to create a barrier between the living and the dead. It was placed around the neck, on windowsills, and even stuffed into the mouths of corpses to ensure that those buried would stay buried. The belief was that the Strigoi, despite their hunger, could not stand the purity of the garlic and would retreat rather than try to pass through its invisible wall of protection. I wonder why garlic. Like back in the day, and they're probably like, okay, what stinks the most or what
I
has the
know. It's like,
strongest
yeah,
scent?
because it's so potent.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
gotta
know.
say, in this house, we good. We're not gonna have any vamps coming in here. You're like
No,
the,
we like
the
our garlic
garlic
here
capital.
too.
Yeah. It's so healthy.
It's good for you.
Yeah. Then there was silver, not just any metal, but one that glowed under the light of the full moon, a metal that seemed almost sacred. Some believed silver carried the essence of the heavens, a purity that burned the corrupt, unholy flesh of the Strigoi. Silver coins were placed under the tongues of the dead so that they could pay their way into the afterlife and not return. Silver jewelry was worn as protection, and silver blades and bullets were forged, not to kill the Strigoi, for the dead cannot die, but to weaken them, to drive them back into the earth where they belonged. A Strigoi's grave could be identified by strange disturbances in the soil, or when wildflowers refused to grow upon it. To stop its terror, there are several methods that include the exhumation of the body, removing its heart and cutting it in two, or driving a stake through its heart, driving a nail into its forehead, or nailing its head to the coffin with iron spikes, placing garlic in its mouth to keep it silent, smearing its body with pig fat, killed on a certain holiday. So there's your pig skeleton.
Oh
I thought
no,
that was,
that's where I got him.
I guess that was an old gypsy thing. It's like smearing the body with pig fat, and they killed the pig on a specific holiday so that its fat is blessed or something. I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird.
No, I've never heard that. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
And then once they smear it with pig fat, they turn its body face down in the grave so that if the Strigoi were ever to wake up, it would be headed to the afterlife. I thought that was weird. Butt up, baby, butt up. And finally, silver to seal the curse forever. In more desperate cases, they burned the body to ashes and scattered them at the crossroads, ensuring the creature could never find its way home. But it is said that there was a danger in hunting the Strigoi, for its wrath was relentless. If it escaped, it would curse those who defiled its grave, tormenting their families for generations. And woe to anyone who looked a Strigoi in the eye, for in that gaze was death itself, a hypnotic pool into darkness. The Strigoi, though fearsome and relentless, were not without their limits. They could not cross thresholds protected by holy symbols, nor could they harm those under the blessing of a deity or guarded by sacred rites. Church bells, consecrated ground, and the faithful prayers of the devout were said to create invisible barriers the Strigoi dared not cross, reminders that even the darkest spirits shrink before true light. And so the stories wind down, but never truly end, because in the shadow of the Carpathian Mountains, the line between the living and the dead has always been thin.
Hit me, baby.
One more
One more
time.
time.
I did not just do that. No.
Yes, yes, you did.
And always lurking just beyond the veil are the Strigoi, cursed souls twisted by fate or fury, still roaming the night, hungry for life, for warmth, for revenge. Some say they still walk among us, hiding in the guise of ordinary people. They could be anyone, your neighbor, your friend, even a member of your own family. They bide their time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. So when the wind howls at your window and you feel the air grow unnaturally cold, be wary. Check your mirrors, lock your doors, grab your garlic and your silver. And most importantly, never invite a stranger inside after sunset. The end.
I'll just call Sam and Dean Winchester. You don't know that reference, but it's fine.
Who is it?
Supernatural. The Winchester brothers in Supernatural.
Oh yeah, I've not seen that. I feel like I started it and stopped it immediately because I thought it was going to be stupid.
So you could have just kept going. It's so good. So you're saying that they're still around. And
Yes,
this is
allegedly
where
they're still around.
we started watching that movie. So I've never really been into vampire movies because there's just so many of them. And I haven't seen any of the classics like Bram Stoker's, Dracula. I've seen Twilight, which is, don't get me started on Twilight.
Same.
And I've seen Blade. I like Blade. So
Did you say Underworld?
I do like Underworld. I do like John Carpenter's vampires, but like the true Dracula movies, I've never seen a single Dracula movie. And so
I think I had to watch it in school, but I mean that was so long ago, I can't remember it.
So Ryan really wanted to watch Nosferatu. I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
I think so.
And it's very artsy, I guess. And he's like, let's just watch it. And if you don't like it, we can turn it off. And so I watched like 30 minutes of the 2.5 hour movie. And I was like, okay, I was kind of interested in it. But I think Ryan turned it off because I kept asking so many questions. Because I really don't know Dracula's story. As weird as that is, like I don't know the whole Dracula story, so I've never seen.
Yeah, I don't either.
And so that's interesting that Nosferatu is kind of based off this.
Mm-hmm. And if I would have spent more time on it, I probably would have gone down that rabbit hole. But
Of Nosferatu?
yeah. Yeah, because I don't know. I really don't know the story of Dracula either.
I don't either. So, but it's interesting that they sound like not just vampire, but werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought Silver was more of a werewolf legend.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
Garlic more vampire.
Seems to be intertwined for sure. Yeah, maybe we can do an episode just solely based on Dracula and like really dive deep into that lore.
You might have to watch some Dracula movies.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Strigoi. Pretty cool. Pretty creepy.
I will go to Romania with you, but I'm not going to that forest. Sorry.
Yeah. Maybe we can just drive by.
Does it work like that?
Probably not. Because you'd probably have to be on a really creepy road. So, yeah, I don't think we can do any drive-bys.
No.
Well, you can follow us on all the social medias. We're on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/weeklybazaar. $5 a month so we can go to the creepy forest. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you, even if you don't. And you can email us at weeklybazaarpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear any suggestions that you have for us, like something that you want to hear about, or if you have a story of your own that you'd like to be told, just let us know. We love that kind of stuff.
All right, guys. So we'll see you on the next one. The next one, we're gonna get we're gonna get weird.
Oh yeah?
We're gonna get weird. Yes.
It's about time.
Yeah. Because that's what we're here for. Because if it's weird,
we're gonna talk about it. Bye.
Bye.